we are to say we are from Woodburn, Indiana. When we talk to our family and friends, we make it evident that we love our city and we are proud to call this place home. Many of us have raised families here. Some families have multiple generations that call this city home. And for some families, just starting out here in Woodburn, of course, they are seeing why this city is called home. One of the families that have called Woodburn home for many years is the Henney family. Here, Harry Henney was clerk treasurer at as my 18-year-old daughter always reminds me, my wife is the better speaker in the house. We talk to our family and friends, make it evident that we love our city. One of the families that we have called Woodburn home for many years is the Henney family. Here, Harry Henney was clerk treasurer, a teacher at Woodburn, and eventually moved on to be principal of Woodburn School. Harry and Jeanette Henney raised their family here. Their children call this place home, and when they talk to their family and friends, they say how proud they are to be from Woodburn, Indiana. Over the last several months, I have gotten to know the Henney family. I was unaware of the sacrifices that Harry and Jeanette made for our community. And through this process, I have learned just how much they loved Woodburn. The dedication, love, and commitment they have for our community is inspiring, and it's truly been an honor to get to know the children of Harry and Jeanette. I am thankful for all the sacrifices that the Henney family has made for our great city and residents who live here. This clock plaza is being dedicated to the city of Woodburn by the Woodburn Community Association, and it was built in honor of Harry and Jeanette. The hard work and dedication you have given to see this plaza come to life has been remarkable. Not only does this honor the lives of Harry and Jeanette, it also signifies that hard work, always learning, and being on time allows you to accomplish anything. My hope for this beautiful investment to our city is when people are looking for directions within Woodburn, they might say, turn left at the clock tower. Thank you, everybody. At this time, I would like to ask that Denny Measley come up and say a few words for the Woodburn Lions Club.
Thank you, Mayor Kelsey. On behalf of the Woodburn Lions Club, we'd like to thank and congratulate the Henney family, the City of Woodburn, Maumee Township, Woodburn Community Association, and the Woodburn Partnership for Downtown Revitalization Committee for the beautiful memorial dedicated today in honor of Harry and Jeanette Henney. Harry was an honored member of the Woodburn Lions Club for over half a century, 65 years to be exact. He served as our president in 1947, as well as an officer and member of the board of directors his entire membership in the Lions Club. During his service to the community and to the Club of Woodburn, late in his career, Harry was honored by the Lions as Lion of the Year. We as the Lions in the community and former teachers under Harry and students would like to thank Harry and Jeanette for raising a fine family, being valued members of the community, educational community, and service to the city of Woodburn, Indiana. Thank you.
I would like to ask that former Mayor Dick Hebner come up and say a few words in honor of the Plaza Steering Committee.
Thank you, Joe.
see, when you hang up your mayor's hat, you don't have to wear a jacket like this. But on behalf of the steering committee, I would like to just mention some names real quickly. And Joe being on the top of the list, Councilman Mike Martin and his wife Carol, Maumee Township Trustee Vicki Thompson, Gary Messman, Richard and Yoma Hepner, Dwayne and Sandy Heckley, Keith Malfate, Tom Miller, Lynn Rorick, Rex Coomer, and Rex Farver. These people had a vision, probably over a year ago, after the Main Street project finished up, and they seen this empty lot. And I got to give Joe Malfate, the local farmer in our area, who did a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and got the old grocery store and tavern torn down, and we began looking at some other projects and put in a beautiful meat market back behind us. So when things come down and things go back up new, it helps the city grow. But from the steering committee, we had many options to go with. We all thought we wanted to go with a gazebo. And a lot of guys call them the Henny family. It's always been Haney to me. So the Haney family got involved because of Harry and Jeanette and the memories that we've all had. My dad lived in the addition here, just northeast of town here, and they had coffee together quite a bit, Harry and Jeanette and my dad, and had a good time in the morning. And Harry says, I used to squirrel hunt a lot, and I can't do it anymore. Do you think you could ask your son to shoot me some squirrel and bring him over? And I still remember that day when I took a package of clean squirrel over to Harry and the smile he had on his face. So one thing I like to talk about the Haney family, when I think of all of them, what they've done, and the word comes to me, integrity. Our preacher spoke a couple months ago on integrity and what integrity is all about. The definition I got from integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles and moral uprightness. And when I go down through the list of the Haney family and think of Dr. Jane or Dr. Ann Haney, Dr. Jane Haney, Floyd Haney, and Dr. Fred Haney, these people all have integrity. And that was brought on by their father and their mother. And that's instilled. That's not just something that somebody hands to you. But integrity is quite a thing to be proud of. And the Haney family, I'm proud to say I'm friends with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Dick. At this time, I would like to bring up Floyd Henny and the Henny family.
I know. Yeah, thank you. Hi, for those of you who don't remember, I'm Ann, the oldest. I guess I get to speak first. We'd really like to thank all of you for being here today to celebrate this occasion. And on behalf of the family, my sister and my youngest brother, Fred, I would like to say a special thank you to Floyd and Jerry. They are the ones who really, really had the vision for this and have carried it through. And I don't think it would be here today if it weren't for them. I would also like to thank everybody who contributed to this project. This was not just a Haney project, however you speak of it today. Many, many people volunteered time, materials, gave donations, and should be very proud for the part you played in this, because one of our goals was to make this yours. None of us live here anymore, so this is yours to be proud of as a community. As part of my former working life, I did work a lot with, for a couple years, community and economic developers. And one of the things they always talk about is a sense of place and a sense of community. And I look at this as a place where you can make it yours. There's some obvious things like farmers markets, little art fairs, music on the plaza. I see a combined church choir from the area churches for Christmas caroling. There's just lots of things that you can have a vision and hold them here. Lastly, I'd like to say that my mother, Jeanette Henny, loved to entertain. And you never went to her house of unless you had a cookie. And today I have made 400 of her ginger cookies. So my sister said I have to go commercial. So as you pass by the cake, please have a cookie from Jeanette Henny. Thank you.
Floyd Henny, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it feels like I'm just talking to a lot of family today. The faces are a little older. Some of us, not everyone's here like they used to be, but I just feel like it's like a coming home party. And that's a good thing. It's always difficult to be kind of one of the last speakers because the ones that I've just heard have just been excellent. I don't know if Mayor Kelsey has in his budget a speechwriter or not, but if he wrote his own speech, he did a heck of a job. So, anyway, I would like to have my two sisters and the one with them. I'd like to have my brother. In fact, let's just throw it. I'd like to have our family come up here and stand right up here so that you could be a part of this and be around the tower. If any of the grandkids want to join us, I'll keep this real short. Okay, here we go. First of all, we want to thank everyone for making the effort to be here today. It is an honor to share this day with you as the city dedicates this beautiful new addition to its downtown. You will have to have patience with me the next few minutes because public speaking is not something that I particularly excel in or enjoy. I am also starting out a little perplexed and a little befuddled. Mayor Kelsey, who I've gotten to know on a first-name basis, had promised me that he would make sure that I would have a teleprompter to hide behind. As you can quite readily see, we have another broken promise by our local politician that we're going to have to deal with. Just kidding, Joe. So I guess we'll have to resort to my backup plan and read from my notes. So I apologize for that, but that's what you're going to get today. I know that it has been said many, many times that it is a mistake to start thanking people because you're always in danger of leaving someone out. But today, I am going to ignore that advice because I think it would be a mistake to not publicly thank a few people who have helped to make this day possible. First of all, I want to thank, and he's been thanked earlier, Joe Maffei. Joe, go ahead and clap. I think he deserves a hand. Behind the scenes, Joe did what Dick Hepner mentioned. He took down an eyesore and made this available that something like this could happen, and he is to be given a lot of credit. Another person I saw here today that I haven't seen too much is Lynn Rohrig. And Lynn was the one that called me, I don't know, close to 2 years ago when I saw the 632 number in my phone. I said to myself, do I really want to take that phone call? And I took a chance, and Lynn said, hey, this is Lynn. We got something we'd like for you to consider. And it was potentially doing something here to honor our mom and dad. So that was the beginning. And Lynn, I thought about it, and where are you at? Lynn, thanks for the phone call. That got the ball rolling. As this thing went down the tracks, it was pretty obvious that Dick and Naomi Hepner had a burden for it, an interest, and they they've been right there to help steer this thing right up into what you see today. So I think if you could give them another hand. I would like to combine the next two. And that is your mayor, Joe, and your Woodburn Community Association. Those two groups, Joe representing the city and the Woodburn Community Association, work together to make this come together. And like most of us realize, it takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness to get something done like this. And they had it. I think they're to be commended. And if you'd give them a round of applause, I'd appreciate it. I'm looking over, and I do not see his face. Is Len Mizowick, did you make it out here today? Do I see a hand back there? Len Mizowick, come out from the tent, just a couple steps. Len Mizowick, Len is someone I've known for a lot of years. Len is the one that designed what you're seeing here today. It wasn't me, it wasn't somebody else, it was Len Mizowick. Len has what I call a God-given talent. Something that you can't study enough for. He has what it takes to make, he has vision. And Len, I'm glad that you made it. And I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate what you did to make this happen and how beautiful it is. So I really give him a round of applause, if you will. Another thing that happened this whole process, I have a construction business which involves a lot of what we call subcontractors. And so they helped put this together. And they just didn't help with labor. They helped with donated labor. They helped with donated materials, donated time. It was touched on before. But it has touched me how easy it was for them to see how this could benefit this community. I know a lot of you are sprinkled around out there, and I would like for you just to receive a round of applause from this group for all that you did to make this happen. Ann touched on a little bit ago, you donors, we appreciate it. The whole list is in your program. If someone was left out, we apologize, but thank you so much for what you've done on the financial end of this thing. I also want to thank all the friends of our family, my brothers, my sisters, for making the effort. We have a lot of family here today that's celebrating with us, and we thank you for coming. Another group that sacrificed to make this happen was our business. Our business. I have Harold here, who is my brother-in-law that's in business with me, and Irv is floating around over here on the other side. They picked up a lot of load to allow me to spend a lot of time out here to make this happen, and I appreciate it, Irv, and I appreciate it, Harold. Thank you very much. I have not seen that there was supposed to be a video. I don't know if that got set up or not. It's playing. Well, if you observe that, I think it's from the beginning to the end. A lot of the people in there are people that work with us. They don't work for us. They work with us. They truly are craftsmen, and they took this thing on as truly something that they wanted to make the best product they could for this community, and I appreciate them for doing that. Now, we also have members of my mom and dad's family here. And I've got a second cousin whose grandfather, if I have this right, was a brother to my grandfather. And he drove up from Indianapolis, so, you know, how can you beat that for wanting to be a part? Now, behind me, I have my two sisters and my brother. And I know that behind the scenes, they were all for this. Ann put it very eloquently that what you have before you today is just a starting point. I take that back. It's the second starting point. The thing that you're standing on, the sidewalks and the new light posts, was the beginning. This is just the second part. And I hope that you take that next step and make it even bigger and greater. And that's what they saw with this opportunity, and we want to thank you for that. And now, last but not least, before I go to page 2 of a 14-page speech, I want my wife to come up here. I'm pretty guilty a lot of times of overlooking who really should get the credit. And today you're probably looking at, in my estimation, but I think I can, one of the most talented people I know. In a lot of ways. And Jerry has graciously walked with me for 44 years. And so I'd like for her to just stay up here as I finish this, but I want to tell you I love you. Okay, here's the meat of the sermon. When given this opportunity, or this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, to help build this plaza for the city of Woodburn, it presented an avenue to honor our parents, for which we are truly indebted. Ideas were presented, plans were made, and ground was broken. But something happened that I was not prepared for. A little sidebar, or a little ad-libbing. On the side, Irv and Harold and the people that work with us, we build a lot of residences. This was something different. And it started to dawn on me that we were building a structure or plaza that would not only be a nice addition to the downtown, but that it would be speaking to its citizens and those who passed by every hour and every minute of every day as long as it stands. That's the difference between a commercial structure and a residential. They speak. So what is this plaza saying to us that as we stand here today? Since this corner of Main Street and Bull Rapids is in honor of Harry and Jeanette Henney, I thought I would ask them if we were to still have that privilege today. I believe this is what they might want for us to consider. At the other end of the plaza, there's a flag. The beautiful American flag at the other end gives us a chance to be grateful daily for the country that we were born into. Are we a positive contributor to that country we call America, or are we a taker? Every day when we see that flag, it can be a reminder. Our mother and father did as much as they could to be involved with its betterment. That to me is a challenge for all of us. The second thing that I think Mom and Dad would refer to is, I call it the sitting wall and the little wall. Mom and Dad were proud of being from Woodburn, the smallest city in the state of Indiana. I don't know why we always got tickled by that, but whenever that came out, I thought that just was pretty cool. We were the smallest city in the state of Indiana. And if anybody tried to take that away from us, I was ready to, let's go check the census, So. To Harry and Jeanette, having lasting friends, being a great neighbor, and making the place you call home a better place was important. They would hope that the map on the seating area and the words on the wall would inspire people to venture out and see other places and to broaden your life. The map would say to them, this is where I am from, but there is a big world out there to explore and to learn about. On a personal note, I always enjoyed it when someone asked me where I grew up. I proudly say Woodburn, Indiana. When they reply, where's that? I have my answer waiting. Are you familiar with Fort Wayne, Indiana? Or maybe Chicago, Illinois? Well, they're suburbs of Woodburn, Indiana. The clock tower. The clock tower, I think, represents obviously time. And ad-libbing a little bit, unconsciously we use the word time all the time. What time does this event start? What time are we eating? What time are you going to be home? What time does school start? On and on and on. So time, and I know our family would chuckle about it, was very important to our father. You don't be late. Breakfast is at. Don't be late. Because there wasn't going to be a second chance. But time is something that we all have, and we all have a responsibility to do with it as we choose. I was very fortunate that we had parents that made us responsible for our time. So the challenge when you go by this clock is, what are you doing with your time? Because you're never going to get another second back. And you have no promise of another minute. So it's a reminder, use your time wisely. Don't be late, and be on time, and make the best use of it. The last thing that's a little bit obscure, but meant a lot to Mom and Dad, and we purposely tried to work it into your little plaza, was this pine tree over here. Just kind of hanging out by itself. It's not made of brick, not made of mortars, doesn't have anything written on it. But that is our gift to this community of a Christmas tree. I think I'll go just a little politically correct here, but don't start calling it a holiday tree. It's the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree just kind of sits there all year long. But one of these days, when it gets cold in this little town and the snow starts flying, I hope that you're able to decorate it and to gather around it and to have a Merry Christmas and to remember that a Savior was given us that we might have life. So the Christmas tree is just waiting for that time. And I hope it becomes a real treasure to this community. Now, a few weeks ago, this was kind of cute. Rod Garrick, he's hanging out here somewhere, and a lot of you know him. He works with us. He did, and okay, here's another ad-libber. His father's Ezra. Is Ezra even standing up? There's Ezra. Now, Ezra, he works with us as well, and I can either be accused of sympathy or I could be accused of like a mean old man. Ezra comes to work for us every day, and Ezra's not. He's 1 year more than 86. He's 87. And I tell you, what an inspiration. When I showed Ezra the rendering that Lynn did 2 years ago, man, his eyes lit up. Not that it could be something that he could lay brick on, but he saw, I could see it in his eyes, that will be neat. That will be cool. And I could tell from his reaction that this was a good thing to do. Now, here, Rod was out here just doing some finishing touches, and I called Rod up on the phone. Rod, what's it look like out there? Oh, it looks great. Anybody stop by? And, hey, Floyd, you'll never believe it. I said, well, what's that? He said, a mother stopped, and out of the car she stepped, and probably her teenage son, and he was dressed, pretty nice. This was in the late spring of the year. And so she nudged her son up here up by the clock and snapped a few pictures, and I'm assuming it was for his senior picture. That's what was, to me, was a feel-good moment. I really felt good when I heard that story, that this place here could be a thing where your kids could say, this is where I was from, this is where I was raised, and that you could take a lot of pride in it. I can also see, and I hope it happens, that as this little plaza gets used, and fathers and daughters and mothers and daughters, or fathers and sons, or grandparents like we are able to sit down on these benches here and just have a nice talk, that lives can be changed, and whatever is difficult in somebody's life can be headed in the right direction. So I can see that this could be a place where that could happen. That was one of the real burdens on me, is when we had the opportunity to put a few words on a couple walls that might touch somebody's life. And this is what I thought my mom and my dad would advise us to do. And one of them, I think it's the best one up there, is to esteem others. Esteem is not, you don't hear it very often, but it's, maybe you've got to go look it up, but it's a word where you say you build up others and not tear them down. So if you can throw that into your life, you'll be a richer person, and you might change a life as well. I've got to go page 3 and then we're done. Yeah. A little ad lib. Real quickly, thank you again for this opportunity. This was done not, and I really mean this was not done for Mom and Dad. This was done for this community who has meant so much to the Haney family. I would. Right there.
Mom's sister.
Okay, thanks, Ann. I had that kind of in the back of my brain, but you know, you kind of lose some of those things. Today, my mother came from, help me, how many brothers? 5 brothers? 3? 9 children. We've got the lone remaining one, Annie Ella, is sitting over here, and we are so thrilled that you're here. Can we give her a hand?
I'm happy too to be here and see this. I lived here 7 years and I like Woodburn. I love all of you. God bless you.
Thank you, Floyd, and I want to thank you and your family for everything you have done for the city of Woodburn. Thank you. Now, as if you didn't have to speak long enough, I would like to ask Floyd to come up and say a prayer before lunch. Before we have that, I would like to ask Christy Stutzman one more time to sing God Bless America.
Wasn't this a wonderful presentation and dedication? Wow, so special. I want to say a personal thank you to this family as well. They've been a blessing in our lives, and we just really counted it a privilege to be friends with them, and it's just an honor to be here. So let me sing our national hymn, God Bless America. Though the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us pledge allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for our land so fair, as we raise our voices in this solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above.
From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you, Christy. That was absolutely beautiful. Now I'd like to bring up Floyd again to say a prayer before lunch.
Okay. If you would, let's take a. We've got a great meal, I think, planned. Andy Yoder consented to bring his ice cream machine over, so save a little room for that. And if you would, let's just bow our heads. Let's give thanks. Lord, we thank you for what we're about to receive. We ask you would bless it. We ask you would bless this community. We ask that you would bless its people. We would pray that you would put vision in the hearts of this town. Let it spring forth and be the best that it can be. And we again thank you for this day and everyone that is here in your name. Amen.